I want to launch 10 companies in the next 12 months.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Designer Future podcast.
Hey guys, my name is Matt Cenca out of Austin, Texas, and I'm a venture capitalist and multi-business owner.
Wicked, cool. So obviously, yeah, like you said, you own a couple of different businesses. Just go ahead and talk us through a couple of them for us.
Sure. So my main company, and I'm actually at the office here right now, is called Buyback Hub. It's a mobile device wholesale and export company. And I've been doing that since 15 years old, really. Been buying and selling phones on Craigslist is where that all started. And it's grown infinitely over the years. Inc. Magazine, top 250 fastest growing companies in Texas for 2020, and so on. A whole lot of accolades in it. And my best and first company. Some other companies that I'm currently involved in is Zoom Marketing Solutions, which is an outbound marketing company providing social media marketing and a variety of other outbound marketing services to local and businesses around the country as well. And another one that I'm doing right now is called Safe Operators and Carriers. That's a freight brokerage out of San Antonio, Texas, kind of brokering the loads between businesses and the truckers on the road, making sure everything coordinates well there. Just a whole that's just some. Yes, I have many things going on.
A few things going on. Cool, wicked.
Yeah.
So obviously, you mentioned that you've got the company that you're at the moment. You've done that from early on.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit more about the early stages. Was it always like you knew you was going to work for yourself, or did you work at some like normal 9-to-5 jobs and then transitioned?
Well, I've never actually had a job. Like I've never worked for anybody else. Yeah. So when I was younger, like 15 years old, I started buying and selling these phones on like Craigslist or at school and on eBay and stuff like that. And that's went on for a few years. And I was realizing that the money was so much better than these, working for minimum wage, because that's all you can really get in high school. Right. So I just pursued it. And honestly, the entrepreneurial spirit just took over from there, man. And it is what it is all the way from there to today.
Amazing, man. Amazing. So what sort of motivates you now? Because obviously, like you said, you started being a young kid, realizing you can flip iPhones, obviously the fact that you wouldn't have to go to work for someone else, but what's made you sort of go off and start creating other companies and keep driving forward?
Well, just recently, actually, I decided to put Buyback Hub on more so autopilot instead of trying to expand it any further. I think it definitely can expand, but I think that I would rather let my wings fly as a VC and as an investor right into other industries and other things, rather than put all my time and effort into this one company. So when COVID hit, I really had a lot of time to work on the automation of this, right? To the point where I got the whole company down to only running on an hour a day of my time, right? And everything else automated, which is great. So then with all that free time, and then of course with all the excess money that we had, from the company doing well, I started starting other entities, letting my wings, letting my wings out and moving into other industries and stuff like that. And then I kind of realized that I was like, shoot, if I can just start these companies and then go in and use the same automation processes that I have at Buyback Hub, I can be sitting here with the whole portfolio of companies that I can be running all simultaneously with very minimal time and commitment effort.
Amazing, man. Let's paint a picture of the fact someone's miraculously come across this video. They've typed in how to start a business. What is there, like a specific resource or a book that you read, or a course or something that sort of opened your eyes, whether it was an actual like blueprint course on how to do a business model or even like mindset? Is there something that you would point someone in a direction of?
Yes, actually, I would I would point them to contacting me for a consultation. I actually don't believe in reading books to learn.
Okay.
It's a very unique perspective. I don't know if you checked it out on the last podcast that I sent you, but I believe that experience trumps anything that you could ever learn in a book, so on and so forth. Maybe we can link them to my other podcasts because I
Sure.
don't think we really want to get down the path of
Sure.
my philosophies on the book.
We'll leave the podcast link below for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I think there's nothing better than just getting out there and doing it, right?
Yeah.
As coming from someone who's never taken a business course, who's never read a book on business, is just someone who just got up one day and just started doing it and learning through experience after experience. That's what I recommend to everyone. I mean, you just gotta sometimes put your hand in the fire and, see what happens. Just go right for it. But this is part of the reason that I offer like a consulting services for, people who do want to start businesses and they know that they just have to get out there and do it, but they just want someone who's got the experience, in and had successful entities to help them guide them along the process.
Wicked, cool. That's perfect. Let's imagine that I somehow flew across the world to come into your phone and delete 3 apps from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
What would those 3 apps be that you would really, really struggle without tomorrow?
3 apps on my phone that I would struggle without tomorrow. Oh, man. I wish they could show me most used, but I mean, as far as like business goes, obviously, right? Because like the social stuff, whatever. There's a million platforms to be social on, right? I don't know. My banking app would be pretty, pretty
For sure.
unhappy about that. Yeah, email and text messages.
Okay, wicked. I love that. And that's a quite unique sort of turn on it. So are you trying to take yourself away from like social media apps and stuff like that?
Well, I'm just saying I could do without them if you deleted them. It's like not the end of the world, but like, if you delete my banking app that I have, 14 accounts at one bank, right? And it's all one login. I don't know what's going on with half the companies I'm involved in. It's kind of an email, right? Is the standard communication amongst business people. And then a lot of texting I do as well. So social media, it's a cool tool for making money for sure, but like on a personal level, like
You could
not
do
really.
without it.
Yeah.
Cool. Wicked, man. Do you use ClickFunnels?
No, I don't. I'm very familiar with what ClickFunnels are, but I don't personally use ClickFunnels.
Okay, cool. So talk to me a little bit about, because obviously you said social media and stuff like that. What would be like your ideal way of getting traffic in for someone that has never like drove traffic to any of these businesses before?
Well, in that situation, I'd highly recommend contacting Zoom Marketing Solutions for all your marketing needs. Kidding. Well, I'm not kidding, but anyways. I mean, the best way to do social media traffic, if you're going to do it on your own, is I've had the best luck with the paid ads on Facebook. Honestly, I am not a marketing guru by any means. Madeline at Zoom Marketing Solutions, the head of marketing, our president, she's the marketing whiz, right? I'm just the business side of it. But before I turned marketing over to her for both my companies and started this entity with her, I was just had the best success running targeted Facebook ads and custom audience. That was pretty critical as well.
Amazing, man. Wicked. So have you got any tips for someone that is just jumping into business and that obviously you said, just get out there and do it, but if there's some sort of like actionable steps that you could really put together for someone, what would they sort of look like?
Well, I mean, everything starts with an idea, right? So I hear like 2 to 3 business pitches every day. A lot of people want me to be involved in their company, whether it's a partner or a consultant or whatever. So and there's all different stages to where their idea is at, but it all starts with an idea. You say, hey, I have this idea. How can I make money with this idea, right? And I always say, well, before you go out and let's register a business and dump all this money into marketing. Like, why don't you just test it on a low level first? Like, make it your side hustle first, right? Make it as a supplemental income to your already full-time job and just see if there's an ability for it to be profitable. I always say, if you can make $1, I can show you how to make $1,000,000, right? So just, do it as your side hustle, make sure you get it profitable, right? And then slowly scale it to the point where it needs to become a business from there.
Mhm.
And then once you're ready to cross that threshold, right, and register, your entity and move forward and start actually putting money into marketing and inventory, maybe even office space, who knows? That's a whole different beast, but don't be afraid to make the jump. If you can get a profitable side hustle, there's comes a point where you can drive it far enough to replace your full-time income and go into full-on entrepreneurship. And that's what I tell everyone is really the goal, is financial freedom and starting that side hustle and getting it to the point where it can replace your full-time job and you can be your own boss and live a great life.
Amazing, man. Yeah, and I think that's such an important factor, is when people start certain, side hustles, if you like, that you should really think about like replacing your income first. And just, I know everyone says like, oh, you need to go full into what you're doing, blah blah, but you still need to think about real life situations with it as well, I believe.
Yeah, I always preach that the best way to do it is I always preach one active stream, or one additional active stream of income on top of your full-time job. Because everyone does passive income. Everyone, knows about, oh, let's do real estate or stock market, right? All the boring fucking passive income. I'm not really a big fan of that stuff. I like to start companies. But anyways, I always say you need one additional active stream of income. You know what I mean? Something that you're actively involved in to make money. And if you can be profitable in that at the point where your side hustle is making enough money to pay your bills, just pay your bills, just get by, that's when you quit your job. That's when you leave that. And then, because now all the time you were wasting at the job, you can put it into this hustle that's already paying your bills, right? So it can only be
Yeah.
up from there. So that's really what I preach in terms of when to actually make the move from side hustle to business and full-time entrepreneurship.
Amazing, man. And yeah, with that sort of being said as well, is the fact that the 9 to 5 is not going anywhere. So definitely, guys, go ahead and take action. You briefly talked to me about it before we hit record. Talk to me a little bit about your team and if there's certain things that you're now outsourcing. And I know it might be a bit different for yourself because you have a few different entities and it's not just one business. But yeah, talk to me a little bit about
that. Well, here at Buyback Hub, we do outsource. I think at all my companies, I think we do a little bit of outsourcing, and some more than others, obviously. We do have some in-house stuff here. I have some great employees. They're actually two brothers, Champion and William Cooper, and they've been great. I couldn't do what we do here without them. They're real awesome. But I honestly, outside of like a few in-house employees, I actually am more prone to do outsourcing at almost all of my entities. In all honesty, it's just so much easier to manage that as hiring 1099 contractors, as opposed to, you know what I mean, dealing with the W-2s and payroll and this tax and that tax. Just, it's much easier to just outsource it. I'm a really like, let's keep things simple type of guy, right? I want it to function and I want it to function well, but I want it to be the simplest process so that, there's very few things that can go wrong with the process. So I'm really big on outsourcing, on labor for sure.
Wicked, man, wicked. And just the last thing before we jump off, you mentioned before that you've been spending a lot of time sort of automating the business you're in at the moment and taking yourself out of the situation. What does that sort of look like if you could sort of map that out, for someone that wanted to do that within their own business? Like, what were the type of things that you thought, okay, I can remove myself from this situation?
Well, I think outsourcing, like we just talked about, is a great tool to use, right? I think where a lot of business owners falter is they're afraid to let go of control of their business. And you hear this time and time again. They're always afraid to let go because they're like, oh, they're going to mess it up, so I need to do it. And they're always like, I need to do every step of this business to keep it running or it's going to fail,
Mm.
right? And they don't understand that you're never going to grow. One man can only do so much. I can only do so much. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it's to the point where you need to just take a step back, take a breather, and say there are other people who are experts in the field of, various things that you're doing for probably for your own business, like marketing and inventory and all that, that can handle, your situation. And you just need to let go of the reins, find someone you trust, and let it happen so that you can take some of your time back and focus on growth and expanding your company. So I would definitely say outsourcing and just letting go of control will help you automate very well. I also am a big believer in scheduling, and organization is huge for me. I have a color coded schedule that I work through every single day, outlining my tasks, goals, and things that I need to accomplish for each of the entities that I'm working on, both actively running and about 15 other projects that I'm working on getting off the ground as well. Um, but in reality, I think like the best tool for automation that you can have is basically a very strong team behind you, and the in-house team really. Like I mentioned, my two employees, they're a very strong in-house team for me, and they do everything to a T. They understand my businesses, they understand my needs, my wants, and they know how to replicate the way that my mind would think in certain situations so that I don't need to be there, right? We've been working together for so long. They just know what to do and how to do it. So really like having someone or having multiple people in this case as a strong in-house, like number two, to act in your absence
Sure.
is really what I found most critical to automating the processes for businesses.
Amazing, amazing. And sorry, just because you've sort of sparked something in my head there, you talked about being productive and scheduling stuff out. What does your sort of day to day look like in terms of you scheduling tasks like priority and stuff like that? Are you sort of like web based, or are you sort of like pen and paper?
That's funny because I actually do it both ways.
Okay, cool.
So my daily schedule here, are you asking what I do like day to day, like morning to night, or are you just asking more so how is my scheduling or how do I schedule?
Yeah, like, well, touch on both, I suppose. How do you sort of map out what you need to do, and how do you prioritize, especially having multiple businesses? How
Mhm.
does your brain sort of process that of, what do I need to do today?
So I have my, I guess, main schedule that I do every day. It's like 20 tasks that need to get done, but that's just primarily buyback hub tasks, right? For my main business. And that's the 1 hour block, right? That I do that. So once I complete all those, and they're all color coded in the order that they need to be completed, yada yada. And then obviously at the bottom there's the stuff that's like outside of my solid schedule that never changes. There's like the stuff like random things that pop up that need to be resolved, right? So then there's a little bit of a rotating schedule at the end of that solid schedule for buyback up every day. Once I complete that schedule, I jump over to the other active entities that I'm a part of. And I'm fortunate enough to have managing partners in all of them. So I'm not operating or managing any of those. So I might check up on them with some notes that I made yesterday. Just, check up, hey, what's going on with this? What's going on with that? But I'm only going to partner with competent people who want to work hard and be successful. Man, I don't need to babysit these guys, right? Partnering with the right people is so critical to success in business, whether that be employees, assistants, business partners, and so on. Um, I don't need to babysit those guys. They're kicking ass and taking names, but I check up and if anything needs to get done on the business side of things, that they need, maybe I'll take care of that. But it's nothing too serious. They are all business owners and other entities as well, so they know how to manage. They know how to run. I have no fear. From there, then I actually move over to my paper schedule, which I have noted like my personal tasks that I might have to do for the day. Like I need to get a haircut. I need to, I don't know, I need to buy a bed or, like this weekend, like this, I'll knock out some personal tasks. But honestly, like I said, I have a great team behind me, so I don't have to worry too much about personal tasks. They've been great and on the assistant side as well, just helping me with, keeping my personal life together and in balance so that I can stay focused on work during the day. So I'll do my personal stuff, and then from there, I start working on my venture capital stuff for the day, which is just a list. Like I said, I have about 15 potential companies that I'm trying to launch at the moment, and I'll just kind of go down the list of each one, and I'll look at our recent messages, and I'll look at our recent emails, and kind of say, okay, this is where we left off yesterday, and then say, hey, are we pushing along? Is this still going? Give me an update. What's happening? This and the right. Just pushing them each a little bit further along each day so that we can get them all a little bit closer to launch each day that goes by. And then after that, it's usually my meeting schedule, right? Which is something like this, like the podcast on my meeting schedule, or some of those pitches that I hear every day. I have to meet with these people. We have to talk. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And that's about all the scheduling I run. Once I finish my schedule, then it's personal time. So, gym, food, friends, things along those lines.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wicked, man. Cool. Obviously the podcast is Design the Future. So where would you like to see yourself in the next 12 months?
In the next 12 months, I want
I'm guessing it's starting a lot of businesses.
Yeah. In the next 12 months, I want to launch at least, I want to launch 10 companies in the next 12 months.
Wicked, man. Well, thank you again for coming on. Thank you for watching and listening, the guys at home, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Hollywood 6.